This is a poem in which the writer finds a three-way mirror. In this poem, there are three items: an oak tree, a lamppost, and a poem. And there are three actors: the writer, the stranger, the friend. The first scene is Brockwell Park, midday, where the writer encounters the oak. One of the branches has fallen, the scar has turned blood orange in the rain. Seeing this across the park, the writer is drawn to it because it resembles a wound. The fallen branch has been fenced in by an artist who intends to sculpt it. I feel that they have missed the point, that the art happened when the branch fell. I feel that the oak tree was already a wet painting and someone licked it. An ingenious, luminous brushstroke full of ravines was achieved. Imagine the delicious, sirenous crash of the branch falling. I hear the long door opening beyond its hinges, then the tinsel of the leaves. Imagine the hush the next morning, all the joggers and dog walkers seeing. All of them seeing the unvarnished inside of this wardrobe packed with fibres and strings, damp, guano, MDF, blister, splinter that turns turmeric in the rain. I am outside of this event, but standing under the tree makes me understand. I am inside some other phenomenon, and the tree's wound is a window out, like how a body perceives a wound. The skin's shallow eyes perceive a dense orange window to the outside, stained glass into something so vast as to be external. The roots are as tall as the tree itself, making the park a grassy mirror, a line of symmetry. If that is true of the tree, that it is only one part of a reflection, then I must be too. One night in Berlin, a man came out of nowhere and attacked my friend and I. I was glad when I saw his evil, shitty little face. I wanted to fight him. We got into a scuffle. He roundhouse kicked my friend. A truck driver jumped out of his vehicle to intervene, saying, "You did wrong." I went for the guy, and we were in mad escalation, spinning around, neither of us wanting to be hit, cowards in a dance. When I suddenly felt myself falling, something hard and cold had smacked my head. As I went down, I realized I knew why the full stop existed. It isn't simply there to indicate the end of a sentence. It is an intentional end, a sign from the author that they are in union with the reader. This is why prose without full stops is laborious and tedious to read. A full stop implies that reader and author have a shared reality, the full stop being the walls and floor and physical universe in which the story plays out, in which it is possible for the story to play out. We agree that at the end of the sentence we will pivot or throw a punch. The exhilarating thing is when you don't know what's happening next, when the feeling of movement is so intoxicating you don't feel yourself run into a pole. So I hit the ground and this man leers above me, angry and very stupid. He kicks me without conviction, which I lament because it makes this story less fun to tell. I make a show of lunging, but stupidity has taken hold. Sometimes a full stop can feel like pausing in front of someone very beautiful. Sometimes it can look like a drunk, racially ambiguous man, trouble from the off. Sometimes if you don't include those pauses, the universe adds them in for you. No wind in either of us. Even the truck driver had got back into his truck and driven off. We were doomed to spectacle. If he's an idiot, I must be too. I think about the story of the Fisher King. In Jungian psychology, he is the epitome of Western European masculinity. He can only escape the pain through contemplation, through fishing. As long as he is quiet, he can never be wounded. I often wonder if my diagnosis makes sense. Female to male transsexual is not a very good description of what is going on. It's too neat, too chronological, too trapped between two states, man and woman. I find neither of these possible or desirable. I need the diagnosis for the surgery, but I question the link between the two. I refuse the social construct of gender and desire a flat chest. I am forced to advocate that which is arbitrary and false. If I were to diagnose myself, I often think essay would be the better term. I'm a piece of writing that I want to look and sound a certain way. I have this deep impulse to sculpt and shape my body. I think of the surgeon's scalpel like the squat nib of a fountain pen, marking up and crossing out. When I write, I'm trying to say something true about the world. I'm trying to polish language until it vanishes, becomes a window. I'm not writing for the sake of writing. I am writing to bring the world into being. Living seems to be much the same process. I'm not living for the sake of living. I live in order to carve and sculpt and incise, wax, buff, burnish, weather, age, distill myself. To do this until I am a walking transparency, making the whole world visible. And people say I'm an idiot for doing this, for carving up my body. I have 2 long scars where my breasts have been, 2 dry rivers or else a tightrope with a gap. Maybe they agree with me about the fallacious sculpting of the fallen branch. Maybe the art was done when 2 fatty protrusions emerged hanging from my sternum. Maybe nothing will be as masterfully mound as the glands I excised. Nothing as masterful as my big fat areolas, my moving, hanging milkworks. If the artist is wrong-headed, then so am I. I think about telling this story and how elsewhere that guy must also have his own version. I don't know how he explains coming out of the night, attacking and harassing us, or how he recalls the moment in which all dignity farted out of me when I hit the pole. I don't know if he counts that as a victory or how he retells running off, but there must be a mirror image somewhere of this sick, humiliated feeling. An atom is in many places at once, and this is the case for other things too. I often think about the physical world as a collection of rules, a set of observable phenomena which we embody and enact. A metaphor like a fallen branch works not because of mere resemblance. In fact, both sides of the metaphor have an indexical relationship to some other law, being invoked, stripped, broken, left open. These are visible under a microscope. Because what was really driving me was my desire to be a man. I wanted to wear a polo shirt and shave my head and drink a pint to be one of the lads. I wanted Lynx Africa to be marketed to me. I wanted my testicles to freeze in the sea like in Ulysses. My desire to kick his head in was so strong that I kicked my own head in. Isn't that so often the way? I wanted to give that bastard a head kicking. I wanted to invoke the universal law of the head kick. I wanted to enact violence so devastating that he would never recover. I wanted to be on a talk show calmly discussing my anger issues, my rage. I wanted to be in the dock saying, "Yes, Your Honour." I wanted all eyes to be on me as I'm cross-examined. I wanted to feel important enough to be arrested, to be hunted by the cops. And I want to wield a sword vast enough to defoliate a tree. The difference between my fantasies and realities is that in my fantasies, I'm victorious. I'm no less masculine having been an idiot, no less an idiot for having run into a pole. I exist in many places at once, and sometimes I think I've got something wrong about men. I see it from the outside like a page in Lonely Planet. I gather up the threads and bangles, make myself look like them. I think about the third actor in this story. I think about my friend, how she was bemused and pissed off and ashamed, how hard she tried to keep my ego intact. She was very kind and was the poet in this scenario. I gift her my cheap, useless gift of paper and a pen and an inclination, the one who stands back and observes what others don't, who lets the ugly, embarrassing noodle slither coldly and septically through their body. I have more respect for my poems now, be they about trees or poles in Germany. I'm more sensitive to their elemental nakedness, their reformation under my gaze, all that maggot life at the level of the small writhes large in me. I think about that night. I'm grateful to the poem it wrote, its kindness to foolishness, for its gullible knack as the bearer of shame, which I must be too.